In a world divided by color, Maya became a bridge, determined to connect her colleagues through understanding. Maya Thompson stood in front of the towering glass doors of St. Augustine Hospital, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and dread. This was her first day as a registered nurse, a goal she had worked tirelessly to achieve. As she took a deep breath and stepped inside, the vibrant chaos of the hospital enveloped her. Beeping monitors, hurried footsteps, and hushed voices blended into a symphony of urgency. During the orientation, Maya met a handful of her fellow nurses. Most were polite, exchanging smiles and small talk, but a group in the corner whispered among themselves, glancing her way. "Look at her," one of them said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Does she think she's here to change the world?" The laughter that followed cut through Maya's heart like a knife. She glanced at Sarah Lee, a fellow nurse who sat beside her, and saw the concern in her eyes. "Don't mind them," Sarah whispered, leaning closer. "They're just jealous. You'll prove them wrong." Maya nodded, grateful for Sarah's kindness but still feeling the sting of their words. Her mind raced with self-doubt as she tried to shake off the negativity. She reminded herself of her purpose: to care for others, to make a difference. As her first shift began, Maya threw herself into her work, tending to patients with unwavering dedication. One patient, an elderly woman named Mrs. Thompson, quickly became a source of comfort. "Thank you, dear. You have such a gentle touch," Mrs. Thompson said, her voice warm and reassuring. Maya smiled, feeling a sense of pride swell within her. It was moments like these that reminded her why she had chosen this path. But as she turned to assist another patient, she overheard the same colleagues from orientation snickering again. "Who does she think she is, acting like she owns the place?" one sneered, and the laughter resumed. Despite the hurt, Maya focused on her patients. Her dedication shone through, and she quickly became known for her compassionate care. Yet the whispers and mockery continued, often intensified by Emily, who felt threatened by Maya's growing reputation. One day, during a particularly chaotic shift, a young boy named Alex was rushed into the emergency room after a car accident. The atmosphere shifted from casual to frenzied in an instant. Doctors and nurses scrambled, urgency filling the air. "Maya, get the IV. We need to act fast," Dr. Carter shouted, and Maya's heart raced. In that moment, the laughter and jeers of her colleagues faded away. Her instincts kicked in, and she took charge, working seamlessly alongside Sarah and the rest of the team. Together they stabilized Alex, and when the dust settled, a collective sigh of relief filled the room. "Maya, you did an amazing job," Sarah said, her eyes shining with admiration. For the first time, Maya noticed a shift in her colleagues' attitudes. The respect she had earned was palpable, but Emily remained aloof, her jealousy simmering just beneath the surface. As the weeks went by, Maya continued to face challenges. Emily's comments grew more cutting, her whispers louder. "You might have saved one kid, but that doesn't make you a real nurse," she'd say, her voice laced with venom. Maya's frustration reached a boiling point. "Why are you trying to undermine me?" she finally asked, confronting Emily in the break room one day. "I'm here to do my job, just like you." Emily's expression hardened. "I worked hard for my reputation. You think you can just waltz in and take it?" "I'm not trying to take anything from you," Maya replied, her heart racing. "We should be supporting each other, not tearing each other down." The confrontation left both women shaken. Maya returned to her duties with renewed determination, but felt the weight of Emily's disdain every day. It was during this tumultuous time that she met Linda Parker, a veteran nurse with a wealth of experience. Linda had witnessed countless changes in the hospital and was known for her fierce advocacy for her patients and colleagues. Over lunch one day, Linda noticed Maya's struggle. "You have to rise above it," she advised, her tone gentle yet firm. "Use their negativity as fuel. You're here for your patients, not for their approval." Maya listened intently as Linda shared her own stories of facing discrimination and bias in her career. Inspired by Linda's resilience, Maya decided she needed to take action. Determined to address the underlying issues, Maya organized a meeting to discuss diversity and inclusion. She prepared her speech meticulously, pouring her heart into every word. On the day of the meeting, she stood before her colleagues, her heart pounding in her chest. "I've experienced hurtful comments since I started here," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "We can't ignore the impact of our words. We need to support each other, not tear each other down." The reactions in the room were mixed. Some nodded in agreement while others, including Emily, crossed their arms defensively. Yet, Maya pressed on, her determination unwavering. "Every one of us has the power to create an environment where everyone feels safe and valued," she continued. "It's not just about being a nurse. It's about being a compassionate human being." Following the meeting, Maya began to notice subtle changes in her colleagues' behavior. A few approached her with apologies, acknowledging their past actions. "I didn't realize how hurtful I was being," one nurse admitted, their voice sincere. Maya accepted their apologies, grateful for their willingness to change. Slowly, she started to forge new friendships, particularly with Sarah, who always had her back. But the path to change was not without its obstacles. Emily remained resistant, her jealousy and pride holding her back. Maya often found herself wondering if their relationship could ever improve. One day, a blatant act of racism during a staff meeting shook the hospital to its core. A senior doctor made a derogatory remark about a patient's background, sending shockwaves through the room. "Enough is enough," Maya said, her voice firm as she stood up. "We need to address this. Racism has no place here." The room fell silent as Maya rallied her supporters, including Sarah and Linda. Together they confronted the issue, demanding accountability and fostering open dialogue. In the aftermath, the hospital began to engage in meaningful discussions about empathy and respect. They recognized the importance of diversity in providing the best patient care. Maya felt a sense of hope as she witnessed her colleagues genuinely seeking to understand each other. Emily, realizing the impact of her actions, eventually approached Maya, her expression vulnerable. "I've been wrong," she admitted. "I let my insecurities get the best of me. I'm sorry." Maya was taken aback but recognized the courage it took for Emily to reach out. They began to talk more openly, slowly building a bridge of understanding. As time passed, the culture of the hospital began to shift. Maya's efforts led to lasting change, and she became a key figure in advocating for inclusivity. Administration recognized her contributions and invited her to speak at a conference on diversity in healthcare. Standing before a large audience, Maya shared her journey, her struggles, and the importance of creating a supportive environment. Her voice resonated with many, inspiring others to embrace their differences and foster understanding. Maya reflected on her growth and the transformation of her workplace. She realized that her journey had only begun. With Emily's newfound support and Sarah's friendship, she felt stronger than ever. As she mentored Lila, a bright new intern, Maya instilled in her the values of resilience and compassion that had guided her. The hospital began to shift towards a culture of inclusivity, where every voice mattered. With her head held high, Maya looked to the future, ready to continue advocating for change and support future generations. In the face of adversity, she had found not just her voice, but a community that stood with her, ready to make a difference. As weeks turned into months, Maya found her footing at St. Augustine Hospital. The initial mockery she faced began to fade, replaced by a cautious respect from many of her colleagues. She continued to build her reputation as a dedicated and compassionate nurse, yet Emily's resentment simmered just beneath the surface, manifesting in subtle yet stinging comments. One afternoon, while preparing for a staff meeting, Maya noticed a new intern, Lila Grant, watching her intently. Lila was bright-eyed, eager to learn, and Maya saw a spark of potential in her. "Hey, Lila, how's your first week going?" Maya asked, smiling warmly. "It's been amazing, but I feel a little lost," Lila admitted, biting her lip. Everyone seems so experienced and I don't want to mess anything up. Maya placed a reassuring hand on Lila's shoulder. You're doing great. Just ask questions. We all started somewhere. You'll find your way. As the days went by, Maya took Lila under her wing, mentoring her and sharing insights about patient care. The bond they formed blossomed into a mentorship that filled Maya with pride. She recalled how Linda had done the same for her, guiding her through the complexities of nursing. One evening, after a particularly tough shift, Maya and Lila sat in the cafeteria sipping coffee and discussing their day. I saw how you handled Mrs. Carter today, Lila said, her eyes wide with admiration. You were incredible. How do you stay so calm under pressure? Maya chuckled softly. It takes practice. You learn to focus on the patient and not let the chaos distract you. Just remember, it's okay to be human. We all have our moments. Their conversation was interrupted by Emily, who walked in with a group of nurses, a smug expression on her face. Well, if it isn't the mentor and her protege, she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. What are you two gossiping about? How to be a nurse? Lila's face flushed with embarrassment, but Maya stood tall. We're discussing patient care, Emily. You should join us sometime. Emily rolled her eyes, brushing off Maya's response. I'll pass. I prefer to learn from those who actually know what they're doing, she shot back, her words laced with venom. Maya felt a rush of anger but chose to let it go. She turned to Lila, who looked crestfallen. Don't let her get to you, Maya said softly. She's just trying to provoke a reaction. Keep focusing on your training. Despite the negativity, Lila thrived under Maya's guidance. They developed a strong partnership, and Lila often sought Maya's advice, whether it was about patient care or navigating the complexities of working in a challenging environment. As the hospital implemented diversity training, Maya felt a renewed sense of purpose. She volunteered to help organize the sessions, eager to foster a culture of respect and inclusivity. With Linda's mentorship, she found her voice growing stronger, and she became more comfortable addressing issues of bias head-on. One afternoon during a training session, Maya spoke about her experiences as a Black nurse. Every one of us has a responsibility to create a space where everyone feels valued, she said, her voice steady. It's not just about the patients. It's about how we treat each other as colleagues. She noticed Emily sitting in the back, her arms crossed, her expression inscrutable. But Maya pressed on, sharing stories of her struggles and triumphs, hoping to inspire her colleagues to embrace change. After the session, Maya was approached by several colleagues who expressed their appreciation. Thank you for sharing your story, one nurse said, tears in her eyes. It means a lot. Encouraged, Maya decided to take her advocacy further. She and Sarah brainstormed ideas for a hospital-wide event dedicated to celebrating diversity. They envisioned a day filled with workshops, discussions, and activities that showcase the importance of inclusivity in healthcare. As they prepared for the event, Maya felt a sense of excitement bubbling within her. However, she also sensed Emily's growing discontent. Emily began to openly criticize Maya's initiatives, calling them unnecessary and a waste of time. It's just a bunch of fluff, Emily said during a meeting. We should focus on real medical issues, not this touchy-feely stuff. Maya held her ground. Empathy is essential in our field, Emily. If we don't understand each other, how can we provide the best care for our patients? The tension between them intensified, and Maya wondered if Emily would ever come around. She focused on her mission, determined to make a difference in the hospital culture. As the event day approached, Maya felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. She and Sarah had worked hard to organize the workshops, inviting speakers and creating a schedule that would engage their colleagues. On the day of the event, the hospital buzzed with energy. Nurses, doctors, and staff gathered in the main hall, eager to participate. Maya welcomed everyone, her heart swelling with pride as she glanced at Lila, who was assisting with registration. Throughout the day, the atmosphere was vibrant. Workshops on cultural competence and empathy in patient care sparked meaningful discussions. Maya felt a sense of accomplishment as she watched her colleagues engage and connect. However, just as the day reached its peak, a confrontation arose. During a panel discussion, a senior doctor made an inappropriate comment about a patient's ethnicity, laughter rippling through the audience. Maya's heart sank. She felt the room grow tense, the energy shifting as people exchanged uncomfortable glances. Without thinking, she stood up. "Excuse me," she said, her voice clear and unwavering. "That comment is not only inappropriate but also harmful. We need to hold ourselves accountable for the words we choose." Silence enveloped the room. The doctor stammered, taken aback, while Maya felt the weight of her colleagues' eyes upon her. "Every one of us has a responsibility to create an inclusive environment," she continued, her heart racing. "If we want to be the best caregivers we can be, we must do better." The tension broke as several colleagues nodded in agreement, and the discussion shifted towards the importance of respectful communication. Maya felt a surge of pride. She had spoken her truth, and it resonated with many. After the event, Maya received messages of support from her colleagues. "You were amazing," Lila wrote. "Thank you for standing up for what's right." But as the positive momentum built, Emily's resentment grew. One afternoon, she cornered Maya in the break room. "You think you're some kind of hero, don't you?" Emily said, her voice laced with anger. "All you've done is create division." Maya took a deep breath, trying to remain calm. "That's not true, Emily. I'm trying to foster understanding. It's not about being a hero, it's about making sure everyone feels safe and respected." Emily stepped closer, her expression hardening. "You're naive if you think that will change anything. People like you will never fit in here." Maya felt a chill run down her spine, but she refused to back down. "And people like you are the reason we need change," she replied, her voice steady. "I won't let your fear of losing control stop me from advocating for what's right." As the days passed, Maya focused on her work and her mentorship of Lila. She poured her energy into supporting her patients, and she saw the impact of her efforts as Lila began to blossom into a confident nurse. One evening, while tending to a patient, Maya received a phone call from her mother. Mrs. Thompson had always been Maya's rock, and their conversations were a source of comfort. "Mom, I had a tough day," Maya admitted, her voice thick with emotion. "Emily confronted me again, and I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle." Mrs. Thompson listened intently. "Sweetheart, remember why you became a nurse? You have the power to change lives. Every small step counts. Don't let anyone take that away from you." Maya felt a wave of warmth wash over her. Her mother's words grounded her, reminding her of her purpose. "Thank you, Mom. I needed that." As she hung up, Maya looked around the hospital, observing her colleagues and patients. She realized that her journey was not just about facing down Emily or overcoming discrimination. It was about building a community where everyone felt valued. In the coming weeks, Maya continued to lead initiatives focused on diversity, and her commitment began to inspire others. Lila's confidence soared as she took on more responsibilities, and Maya felt a sense of pride watching her flourish. But Emily's resentment lingered, manifesting in passive-aggressive comments and a refusal to collaborate. Maya tried to extend an olive branch, inviting Emily to join a committee focused on improving workplace culture. "I think we could really use your perspective," Maya said, hopeful. Emily scoffed. "Why would I want to work with you? You're the one making waves." Maya took a deep breath, her frustration mounting. "I'm not trying to make waves. I'm trying to create a better environment for everyone, including you." Emily shook her head, dismissing Maya's efforts. "Good luck with that. I don't think you'll ever get through to people who don't want to change." As Maya walked away, she felt a mixture of disappointment and resolve. She couldn't control Emily's response, but she could continue advocating for her patients and her colleagues. One day, while working on a particularly challenging case, Maya received an emergency call about a patient arriving in critical condition. The adrenaline surged through her veins as she and her team sprang into action. As they worked to stabilize the patient, Maya felt a renewed sense of purpose. The chaos of the emergency room faded away, and all that mattered was the life in front of her. After the crisis was averted, Maya found herself reflecting on her journey. She had faced countless challenges, but each one had shaped her into the nurse and advocate she was becoming. As she stepped out of the hospital that evening, she glanced up at the sky, a sense of determination settling in her heart. She would continue fighting for change, not just for herself, but for everyone who had ever felt marginalized or unheard. Over the next few months, Maya's advocacy efforts began to bear fruit. The hospital implemented new policies on diversity training and inclusivity, and the atmosphere gradually shifted. Maya's relationship with Lila flourished, and she felt a sense of fulfillment mentoring the next generation of nurses. They often worked side by side, caring for patients and discussing their dreams for the future. One evening, as they wrapped up a long shift, Lila turned to Maya, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "I'm thinking of pursuing a specialty in pediatrics. I want to make a difference for kids like Alex." Maya beamed with pride. "You would be amazing in pediatrics, Lila. You have such a gift for connecting with young patients. I'll support you every step of the way." Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion down the hall. A group of nurses gathered around a patient's room, their faces filled with concern. Maya rushed over, her heart pounding as she joined her colleagues. Inside the room, a child was struggling to breathe and the atmosphere was tense. Maya quickly assessed the situation, directing her team with confidence. "Let's get the oxygen on him and prepare for a nebulizer," she instructed. Working in harmony, the team rallied around the patient, each nurse playing a crucial role. Maya felt a surge of adrenaline as they stabilized the child, the teamwork palpable. When the crisis passed, the relief in the room was overwhelming. As she stepped out of the room, she found Emily waiting in the hallway, her expression softer than usual. "You did a great job in there," Emily admitted, surprising Maya. "Thank you," Maya replied, a cautious smile breaking through her fatigue. "It was a team effort." Emily nodded, her gaze shifting to the floor. "I guess I've been so focused on my own insecurities that I didn't see the bigger picture. You're right about needing to support each other." Maya felt a flicker of hope. "We all have our moments, Emily. It's never too late to change." In the following weeks, Emily began to engage more with the team. Maya noticed her participating in discussions and showing a willingness to collaborate. While it wasn't a complete turnaround, the progress was encouraging. One afternoon, as they prepped for another diversity training session, Maya found herself reflecting on her journey. She had faced adversity, but she had also found allies in unexpected places. Her friendship with Sarah deepened, and she felt grateful for Lila's presence. As they sat together, preparing materials, Sarah leaned back, a thoughtful expression on her face. "Maya, you've really transformed this place. Your voice matters, and it's inspiring to see how far you've come." Maya smiled, the warmth of appreciation flooding her heart. "I couldn't have done it without you, Sarah. Your support has meant the world to me." The training session that day was a resounding success. Colleagues engaged in discussions about their own experiences and shared stories that resonated deeply. Maya felt a sense of fulfillment as she watched her colleagues open up, breaking down barriers that had long existed. As the training concluded, Maya received an unexpected message from Dr. Carter, expressing his admiration for her leadership and growth. He invited her to participate in a panel discussion at an upcoming healthcare conference. Maya's heart raced with excitement. This was a chance to share her journey on a larger platform, to advocate for inclusivity beyond the walls of St. Augustine. She immediately accepted, eager to spread her message. In the lead-up to the conference, Maya spent countless hours preparing her speech, drawing from her experiences and the lessons she had learned. The day arrived and she stood before a diverse audience, her heart pounding with a mix of nerves and exhilaration. "Every voice matters," she began, her voice steady as she faced the crowd. "In our profession, it's essential that we create a culture of empathy and understanding. We are all caregivers, and we must care for each other as well as our patients." As she shared her journey, her challenges, her victories, and the power of mentorship, Maya felt a profound connection with her audience. The message resonated with many, sparking discussions that extended far beyond the conference room. After her speech, several attendees approached her, expressing gratitude for her honesty and courage. Maya felt a surge of hope as she realized the impact she could make on a broader scale. Back at St. Augustine, the changes continued to take root. With the support of her colleagues, Maya helped establish a mentorship program for new nurses, ensuring that the cycle of support and guidance would carry on. As she mentored Lila and others, Maya felt a sense of fulfillment she had never experienced before. She had turned her struggles into a catalyst for change, creating an environment where every nurse felt valued. One evening, after a long shift, Maya sat in the hospital cafeteria, sipping coffee with Sarah and Lila. They laughed and shared stories, the camaraderie palpable. "You know, I never imagined I'd find my place here," Lila said, her eyes shining. "Thank you for believing in me, Maya. You've changed my life." Maya smiled, warmth spreading through her heart. "You've done the work, Lila. I just showed you the way. You're going to be an incredible nurse." As they finished their coffees, Maya looked around the bustling cafeteria, feeling a sense of belonging. She had faced adversity and discrimination, but she had also found allies, mentors, and friends. With a renewed sense of purpose, Maya knew that her journey was far from over. She would continue advocating for change, empowering others to find their voices and create a more inclusive healthcare environment. In the coming months, Maya reflected on how far she had come. The hospital had become a more supportive place, with open discussions about diversity and respect. She felt a sense of pride knowing she had played a part in that transformation. But the most rewarding moments came when she watched Lila and other new nurses flourish. Their success was a testament to the power of mentorship and the importance of creating a nurturing environment. One afternoon, Maya received a call from Dr. Carter, inviting her to join the hospital's leadership team. She was honored and excited about the opportunity to influence change at a higher level. As she accepted the position, Maya realized that her journey had come full circle. She had turned her challenges into opportunities for growth, and now she could help shape the future of the hospital. On her first day as part of the leadership team, Maya felt a mix of nerves and excitement. She knew there would be challenges ahead, but she was ready to face them head-on. As she entered the meeting room, she looked around at her colleagues, many of whom had once doubted her. She felt a surge of determination. This was her chance to make a difference, to advocate for inclusivity and support for all staff members. Throughout the meeting, Maya shared her vision for a more inclusive hospital culture. She spoke passionately about the importance of mentorship and the need for ongoing diversity training. As the discussions unfolded, she felt a sense of camaraderie with her colleagues, many of whom expressed support for her initiatives. The atmosphere was charged with possibility, and Maya knew they were on the right path. After the meeting, Emily approached Maya, a hesitant smile on her face. "I've been thinking about what you said during the training," she began. "I realize I've been part of the problem. I want to help." Maya was taken aback but felt a swell of hope. "I appreciate that, Emily. We all have room to grow, and I'd love to have you on board." As they began to collaborate, Maya saw a shift in Emily. She started to engage more actively in discussions and became an ally in advocating for change. The journey had not been easy, but the growth was tangible. Over the next few months, Maya and Emily worked closely together on various initiatives, fostering a sense of trust and collaboration. They established workshops focused on team building and empathy, encouraging open dialogues among staff. Maya also continued her mentorship of Lila and others, ensuring that the culture of support would carry on. As Lila excelled in her role, She often sought Maya's guidance, excited about her future in pediatrics. One evening, as they sat together in the break room, Lila turned to Maya with wide eyes. "I can't believe how much I've learned from you. You're my role model." Maya felt her heart swell with pride. "You're the one doing the hard work, Lila. Just remember to pay it forward." As the hospital continued to evolve, Maya found herself reflecting on her journey often. She had faced adversity, but she had also found strength in vulnerability, turning her experiences into a force for good. On the day of the hospital's annual diversity celebration, Maya stood on stage, looking out at her colleagues. She felt a sense of pride and gratitude as she addressed the crowd. "We've come so far, but our journey isn't over," she said, her voice steady. "Let's continue to support each other, to listen, and to grow together. Every voice matters, and together, we can create a culture of compassion." The applause that followed was deafening, and Maya felt a surge of hope. She had become not just a nurse, but a leader, a mentor, and an advocate for change. As she stepped off the stage, she was met with hugs and congratulations from her colleagues. Maya felt a sense of belonging that she had fought so hard for, surrounded by a community that valued her. In the months that followed, the hospital continued to thrive. Maya took on more leadership responsibilities, ensuring that the culture of inclusivity was woven into every aspect of the institution. One afternoon, as she sat in her office reflecting on her journey, Lila knocked on the door. "Can I come in?" she asked, her voice filled with excitement. "Of course," Maya replied, smiling. "I just wanted to thank you for everything," Lila said, her eyes sparkling. "You've changed my life, and I want to be like you." Maya felt tears prick her eyes. "You're already amazing, Lila. Just remember to always lift others as you climb." As the sun began to set outside, Maya looked out the window, a sense of peace washing over her. She had turned her struggles into triumphs, and her journey was far from over. She was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, armed with resilience, empathy, and the knowledge that together they could make a difference. The road had been long, but Maya was no longer just a nurse. She was a beacon of hope, a champion for change, and a testament to the power of perseverance. With her heart full and her spirit unwavering, Maya knew that her voice mattered, and she would continue to advocate for a future where everyone felt valued and heard.